Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to World this morning. Eid Mubarak to everyone out there. I am your host Hajra Satti and joining me is my wonderful co-host Fahim Bangesh. Assalamu alaikum Fahim and Eid Mubarak to you.
Wa alaikum assalam Hajra and Eid Mubarak to you as well. Hajra, before you start off, I really want to ask you something.
Okay, go ahead.
That usually, it's usually the men who go for the Eid prayers.
Yes,
Has it ever occurred to you that you should also perhaps go in a Jamia masjid, in a big mosque, and perhaps go in the women's section for the Eid prayers?
No, it haven't because I'm too busy sleeping at that time. But having said so, I do offer my Fajr prayers, Alhamdulillah, and then I sleep.
No, besides that, I'm just talking about the Eid prayers.
No, I haven't. Do they have the, women's section offering the Eid prayers in the first place?
Oh, they do. Oh,
yes.
Wonderful.
I never knew that.
Because I didn't know that, as a matter of fact.
Yes,
but my
that's
sister, who's abroad, she once told me, she sent pictures and everything.
Yes.
And we had gone for the Eid prayers. Do women also go for the Eid
Yes.
prayers? It was so astonishing for me. But then I came to know that, yes, they do have spaces for that too here. So that's why I asked you.
Yes, thank you so much for asking me, and wonderful, you raised a very wonderful point, because people who are especially living abroad, especially in the Western cultures, obviously they are in the minority there and we are in the majority here, so they have a very different sort of Eid celebrations, and that goes for the Ramadan
it's more
too.
festive for them, because they celebrate, they decorate their houses, they bring cakes, decorative cakes, and the way they celebrate and the way they're happy, and the way they take pictures, it's... Oh God, amazing.
That's wonderful, and also they have their own mosque which are called the Islamic centers. And
Islamic centers.
Exactly, that they are wholesome places where you go, where you socialize with the people, where you offer the Eid prayers. And I think especially it's in the West, so they don't have a day off, so they go back to their own routine of...
Which is actually sad.
Yes,
but you know, the best part is talking about the Islamic center, that's the whole point of having a mosque, in Islam, that you should go out, to socialize with the people, discuss social problems on a, societal level, what is going on in other people's lives, get to know other people's problems, and that's exactly what they do in the Islamic centers.
Exactly, and I was very fascinated because my cousin dropped in yesterday, and he was talking about how he was playing football inside the Islamic center. I was like, oh, so you can play football even that center. So because we have a very different sort of a conception of a mosque, we feel that mosque is a place which is a very holy, and you cannot, desecrate the sanctity of the mosque. But obviously in Islam, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to have delegations from all around the world inside the mosque. So mosque was a very wholesome place apart from offering prayers, right? So we would like to carry forward our conversation centered around the Eid celebrations. We have some wonderful guests in the studio. So we are very glad that we have been joined by Brigadier Dr. Retired Tahir Nawaz Sahab. He happens to be a motivational speaker, and he is one of our very favorite guests who has joined us. Assalamu alaikum, sir, and Eid Mubarak to you.
Mubarak, same to you.
And joining Brigadier Sahab, we have Dr. Aiza Abid. She's a consultant psychologist, assessment and counseling and education specialist. Dr. Aiza, welcome to PTV World and Eid Mubarak.
Thank you. And Eid doesn't seem like Eid unless it's here, because I've been coming so regularly.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And Dr. Aiza has been kind enough and gracious enough to always come. And we have always a very, fascinating sort of a cross-pollination of the ideas. So, Brigadier Sahab, we would start off with you. Obviously, you were in the military, and you might have seen there were a lot of Eids where you were not, present with your family. You might be with your, troops out there protecting the borders. So how is the Eid routine for you when you were in the military, and how it has changed when you are retired now?
Actually, I should just share with you, in army, our troops are our family. First of all, I'll just give a segment of how we celebrate Eid with the army people. Army, all commanders at our level, they offer their prayer with the troops. Then they have Bada Khana, we call it Bada Khana with the troops. And that is all together fascinating, quite rich in nature as per the celebrations. And then we have the sweet program with the troops. And in the evening, there are special program arranged. Light entertainment programs by the troops and all that. Whole of the day is filled with the happiness, emotional management, and player emotions. And then going to the different posts. You must have seen even our chief of army staff, or the corps commander, or the GOC senior commanders. On Eid day, they are up front and they stand with the post on the borders.
That's true.
Right on the, because to our army man, his troops are his family, and they are more than family to us. The whole of the day spent there, and on the peace stations, Kent stations, our lady wives, they go to the troops, they have central tea breaks, lunch and dinners, so that there is a feeling of celebrations.
That's
and
lovely.
and all the sequence of events of Chand Raat, a day prior to it, that is I miss that.
Yes,
which used to be in the
that's a
camp.
whole different level
Throughout
of
the night
festivity.
you will come,
Yes.
will enjoy, kids are playing, families are sitting, and then everything is just going on its peak.
Right. And talking about Dr. Aiza, well, I must ask you both about Eid and Chand Raat, because like Brigadier Saab mentioned, Chand Raat is usually a more festive occasion for the women, because they go for the henna, they go for new clothes and have the social gatherings. And of course, we'd like to know about both your Eid and Chand Raat. How do you spend it?
Well, I think I'm becoming quite a boring person because I do all my shopping and stuff beforehand.
Yeah.
And as I'm a mother of boys, henna free.
I see.
So they're more, I got henna a long time ago and my sons were horrified, what's this on your hand? And take it off. And I said, oh, let me enjoy. But then somehow along the way, it just, I think it's when you have daughters and nieces and a whole group, and
that's true.
That's much
That's
more
true.
enjoyable. But Chand Raat is enjoyable anyway.
And are you all busy in the morning of the Eid day? Because definitely people expect that when we go back, like myself, I expect that dessert would be in place when I go back home.
And when you talk of women going for the Eid prayer, you are really going to shake the social system here. You know why? Because we make the desserts while you are praying.
All right. All right.
That's
See, I second her. I do feel.
okay.
My mother used to, Allah peace be upon herself, that most of the ladies are busy in cooking dishes.
Yes.
Climax for the ladies, it's my personal comment, for celebration of Eid is Chand Raat.
Yes. Yes.
And once a lady doing shopping for almost 3 to 4 hours,
yes.
and there is matching missing. That is
Yes.
horrible. Again going back to market and searching it.
Yes.
But the amount of the thrill, the adventure, the emotional management, the sacrifice, they do it to, okay, you get this one. My daughters just exchange, I just watch it quietly. You please get this one, it matches to you, flanso, and this matches to. That is, I mean, quite entertaining. You enjoy that, the sense of sacrifice, sense of love,
Yes.
and sense of care. I believe that more than gifts, gifts has a value. It's a sunnah of Holy Peace be upon him. If you want to enhance your love with the loving ones, go for gift.
Yes, exchange of gifts.
Exchange of gifts, which has been, because my religion is close to nature,
That's
and this sunnah of exchange of gifts is something unique and something very tempting.
Yes.
Somebody gifting a shirt, my son always gift me a special shirt, my wife
Yes.
gives me
Yes.
special clothes on Eid. That have a special standing. Whenever you wear, you say that is there. And in case of ladies, hats off to the ladies, they remember a suit worn by a lady among the 1000 ladies, she was wearing that one. I appreciate always that sense of judging the things.
Yes.
I recognize it
Yes,
with the
yes.
positivity.
Yes,
So that's it.
yes, but Brigadier Saab, I don't know if it's a, local tradition or I mean, it's a tradition that is specific to Pakistan. But whenever there's a Eid around, so what my father does is that he buys clothes for my dadi. I mean, she has passed now, but for my puppo and for all of the ladies of the house, and they go and gift her that that suit, especially on the Chand Raat, and it's sort
Beautiful.
of a tradition.
Beautiful.
So do you have such sort of tradition?
I love this tradition, and I get emotional on this tradition.
Yes.
There's a saying that one of the Buzurg who met me, I just share with the forum.
Okay.
If you want to be happier in life, if you want to be good in life, keep happy your woman folk. May it be your daughter, may it be your sister, may it be your wife, may it be your mother, may it be your mother-in-law, may it be your sister-in-law. I mean, all ladies folk. Why? Because ladies are made with the sense of emotions and love.
Oh,
They
that's
express
true.
soon, they pray soon,
Yes.
and they pray to the limits. I am father of 3 daughters. I get emotions. At night they pray for you. They recite Holy Quran for you, and once you render them a small gift on the occasions,
Yes.
whether they are married or not, whether they are a bachelor or otherwise, they feel something different, and that feeling cannot be, those feelings are not slave to the words. They cannot be expressed in words.
If I take up from here,
yes,
you know, I feel like I was telling my son only yesterday, we transform our love in the form of nurturance.
Yes.
So we cook, we take care, and if you like put it on one side that this is your job and this is a physical thing, no, it's not like that. We do it non-stop out of love.
Out of care.
So feeding your family, feeding your loved ones, feeding the whole clan is something which is just, it makes you feel such a feminine version of a human.
That's right, Dr. Sabha is right. I call it volunteer fatigue work. Volunteer pleasant fatigue work. Because this fatigue or this working is done for the purpose of pleasant. As in the marriage functions, you come late at night and you just sleep, and then this thing is done by all the women folk, that may be mother, wife or sister.
Right.
That is a player fatigue. I remember my mother, Allah unko jannat de, we used to come and she would always make custard for me. कि मेरे छोटे बेटे को custard बहुत पसंद है. She would always love it. Sweet. And it should be kept in the separate place.
Yes.
And I would always tell her कि please don't do it, it's overdoing. But she would not. She would say ताहिर के पड़े हुए हैं वो. So this is emotional bank account.
Right.
Well, like Dr. Aiza mentioned, these are gestures which are the sort of a form of expressing your love for the other person.
So, with all due respect to the male folk of it, the degree of emotions, degree of prayers, degree of emotional involvement and degree of emotional bank account, that is find more in the case of women folk.
And I second that, Hajra, because even we've been discussing in our Ramzan programs as well that we have to handle women with a lot of care, and that's exactly why Islam has also given so many rights to the women, because they're more about emotions, right?
That's right.
If you're rude to them, they'll feel it more.
I think humans are all about emotion. It's not just limited to the women. I think it's also the men. But having said so,
I'm not being discriminatory. I'm just
no, not at all, not at all. But having said so, Fahim, we've always seen this notion that ammi ke haath ka khana, or there's something special about that taste, and you can instantly recognize the moment you eat, or the moment you take a sip, or moment you take a bite. The ghar ka khana, right? And especially people who are living abroad, who are celebrating Eid there, I think it's a very special moment for them, because they might miss that ghar ka khana or ammi ke haath ka khana, because that is very special in its form, and that recipe has been passed from generation to generation, and we can see the taste of that.
You know, Hajra, more than the taste, I'm sure Dr. Saiba and sir, you would also agree. It's more about, like we were just discussing, emotions.
Emotions.
Nostalgia.
It's about love.
You see,
it brings back all those memories and the childhood and being together, united as one structure.
The difference between the animals and stones is, with the human beings, is emotions.
Emotions.
We flow with emotions.
Exactly.
We go with emotions. We love with emotions. As all that to be done used to be done by mother, sweet mother. I still miss the pakoras of her hand.
Yes.
That replacement has taken over by my daughter. She knows which sort of food I like.
Yes.
So it's a series of emotions.
What about your wife? You have deliberately skipped that part.
All respect to wife, she also understands.
Oh, now you are being strategic. We know the answer now. So yes.
Actually,
so yes, sure.
Wife is a bit straightforward, but daughter is a bit caring. I would say no to a cup of tea. She would say, "No, you will have." How you know it? Kehti, I can read from your eyes. You are saying because you don't want me to make it. And she would say, I feel comfortable once I'll offer you. So there's a different, you see, Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, he used to get up once his daughter, respected daughter, used to come. And there are so many things or favors which used to be taken through the Bibi Shabazra, Bibi Fatma Razillah Ta'ala Anha. People used to request her and then it's. So whether it is any festivity, Eid, Ramzan or special festivity, the role of women folk is unique.
Yes.
It's matchless. वो कहते हैं ना वजूदे ज़ान से है तस्वीरें कायनात में रंग. मैं बड़ा रंग पे बहुत जोर देता हूँ.
Yes.
वजूदे ज़ान से है तस्वीरें कायनात में रंग.
Yes.
The rang stands for emotions here.
That's very true.
That's so
it is the
true.
fill in the blanks.
And you know, they say that fathers have a more deep connection with daughters
Yes,
and
yes.
mothers have a deeper connection with the sons. Since you don't have daughters and just sons, how would you comment on this?
It is deep, definitely. Now I'm at that stage of life where my sons are almost away.
Okay.
I have 3, so and I always share it with Hajra and
Yes.
Shahzad. So 2 are abroad and 1 is luckily with me. And so I really miss them, because the ones who are abroad, they are students or they are working and they are not married obviously. So they are not celebrating Eid. And the rituals and the traditions, I'm very fond of creating rituals in the home, you know, for the Eid and for everything, because it transfers so much.
Yes.
It's your generational history basically, how you celebrate Eid. And for instance, I never liked meeting people much, but my mother and father, they believed in, you know, connecting you to people.
Yes.
And today when they are not with me now, I connect with the people they connected me with.
Lovely.
That's
Lovely.
So that's
Beautiful.
my thing. So now, so I encourage people to come out of their comfort share, especially teenagers and youngsters. Oh, I don't want to meet them. I don't want to meet. So okay, I know you don't want to meet them, but just go.
That's it.
The duas you get from the elders,
Beautiful.
the praise
That's
you,
about
you know,
beautiful.
and then of course Eid as
Wonderful
well.
point. Wonderful.
That's the most important point.
Sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
The wonderful point brought by the Dr. Aiza. I love it. Thanks, Dr. Sabha. The one point, the traditions, the connections, the emotions, the road to success made by your parents is the property of the ulad, property of your children. So whether we like it or not, we are supposed to maintain that property of networking with the human beings. That's a property to us.
That's
and
true.
That's emotional bank account, and we are supposed to do it with that spirit. And secondly, the connectivity of emotions and raising the domain higher and training your children to meet people. That's a different thing.
Okay, one question I'd like to ask both of you, because you're a psychologist, you are a motivational speaker. Does it ever sort of come into the house, assessing each and every person in the house psychologically, and you giving motivational addresses to the whole family?
I want to laugh on it.
There's a muhavra in Urdu, chirag tale andhera.
Yes.
I just narrate one incident. My closest friend and brother, Dr. Shahbaz Khan, he is UK based. So he told me one thing which I seconded. He said, brother, please have one advice. I said, yes. Please don't apply NLP on your loving ones. Neuro-linguistic programming, body language communication, don't apply on them. Because every time, always, it's not goody-goody. It's not favorite. Sometimes you read the different signal from the eyes of somebody. So I believe in that. I don't know what the comment Dr. Aiza would give. मैं उर्दू में कहता हूँ उसको I'll translate in the English. मोहब्बतों को तोला नहीं करते.
True.
You don't weigh the gloves.
Yes.
Loves, there is no currency for love. I don't go to the negative side towards it, because we are here with love and we win the people with love. We win even evil with love.
Wonderfully
we
said.
win evil with hatred with love.
That's true.
And we win negativity with love. To everyone, my currency is positivity and love. So once you have the currency of positivity and love with you, so please don't try to wait how much you get from your children or the loving ones.
Lovely.
One of my friend told me that I just discussed about my son. He's my closest friend also, Ayan, class 9, and good friend. So I asked about him, I want to trim his certain flight path, alignment with the life. So he said a beautiful sentence, which I share with you. The people who love you, or you to people who you love, they have already give their ceiling by giving you love and pleasure. And rest every is extra, that is bonus. So mohabbat ko tola nahi karte, it's already enough, because he has given me love, he has given me pleasure. The pleasure I had, multivitamin I had due to the presence of my loving ones, that is paid.
You know,
No, I need not to check them at any stage. I need to enhance it. This is my concept.
If we change it in a little more different direction, you know how I see it is, it's like when you're in the home and when you're in the family, everybody needs their own space.
That's true.
So I'm very, I believe a lot in giving their space.
Private space.
So, you know, I have sorry, people, you know, parents working, because I work with children, they are monitoring each and every moment of their waking lives.
Yes.
And the children are getting in that cycle to a point where they are actually rebelling. So, in the home, I don't go too much into you know, who's thinking what, and just say, don't read my mind, I am not reading your mind, because people think we read minds, you see.
Yes.
So you have to have your own space and not being analytical every moment, and that's the best way of life, because when you start analyzing, you don't know where it will take. It's a dark web out there. So
That's very true.
I'm afraid of the dark tunnel.
Yes. So, Dr. Aiza, so since I mean, you have seen so many Eids, so how has Eid tradition changed for you as a child, then transitioning into a womanhood, and now since your boys are all grown up, so how is it Eid for you? Or has it changed at all? It's not changed at all.
It has changed, but it has not changed.
Okay.
Well, very frankly, we spend Eid at my in-laws, so it's 30 years of marriage and 30 years of Eids with them.
Okay.
Okay. So I really don't know how to make savaiya. Please don't ask
Wonderful.
me. Because my mother-in-law is, mashallah, is
Wonderful.
making them, right? And it has changed in the sense that you know, with obviously when you're with your in-laws, there's a different way of behaving and meeting and everything. And I think I've become more practical over time.
Wonderful.
But I do believe in the traditions. So, you know, I believe in the family lunches and dinners and hosting, and whenever I get a chance, that for me that hasn't changed, because in my childhood we had an aunt. She was a very famous doctor in Karachi, the first child specialist, Dr. Mubaraka Shah, and we used to love going to Karachi on the Eids, and because 25th December was their wedding anniversary. So the lunches and dinners would be a family. So anyone who was in Karachi at that time was on automatic invite.
Oh, wonderful.
Lovely.
And I love that concept.
Wonderful.
And somebody in the family must take that up. So in my in-laws, it's the mother-in-law, you know, we put it on the senior most. and that's how it is. So
Wonderful.
basically it's changed in that sense that, you know, children are a little bit more moody, and you have to give them the, okay, you want to go there. So it's more negotiation, or we never got that negotiation.
Right.
And then I get to buy what I want to wear, and it's more fun that way.
That's
like
very
that.
true.
That's a good way of putting it, more fun that
Yes.
way.
And let me tell you one more thing
Sure,
interesting.
go ahead.
So because my mother used to make the savaiya,
Okay.
and the special dry ones, and my mother-in-law makes the sheer khurma,
Right.
and
Milky one.
I'm so lucky because my husband, he makes kunafe.
Oh, wonderful.
So we have that new tradition. Now we have
What's that? I haven't heard about that.
Kunafa, it's a Middle Eastern dessert. It's very yummy. I mean, I had that.
it has
in Turkey.
savaiya,
Yes. Yes.
then it has a layer of custard and cheese,
Yes.
and then it has savaiya again and syrup on it. So you see, it has everything that I love technically.
Yes,
Lovely.
yes.
And it's a combination of the way my mother used to make it, and he's making it. So what more could a woman ask?
Absolutely, I
That's-
would
that-
agree.
That's wonderful, and because there's this one tradition in our house too, because my father really wants to remain connected with his own roots. So I think it's second day or the first day of the Eid, he does go to our village to offer the prayers there, and if he can't offer it sometimes, so he usually goes there second or third day, because he says that is the time, and especially that is the way that how you want to remain connected with your roots, because these are the people that I have grown up with, and these are my roots, and I would never want to be disconnected with them. And I feel a lot of generational gap, because I don't feel the same about you know, what my father is feeling at that time, because we do not had that sort of a connection with our roots, because we didn't grow up there.
Didn't grow up there.
Yes.
Quite right. Quite right.
Yes, yes, and the people who have grown up in the villages, they have a very different connection with that. So they're so much fond of the crops and the greeneries and all of the fields out there. So Brigadier Sahab, is this experience same for you?
Yes, I belong to a good village from Faisalabad.
Wonderful.
And luckily my village is, mashallah, it is the model village of province of Punjab.
I see.
It's decorated with all the facilities of, electricity, gas and all that.
Okay.
And I do visit my village. I celebrated all Eids with my mother in village. Since she is not there, but now I visit next day. And it's a wonderful experience. Since I had my childhood there, we used to go to Dera, we used to go to Antigua. Last year, 3 years before, I just took my children along and all the family along, and we have barbecue there.
Yes,
On
yes,
this-
barbecues, exactly.
On the open barbecue, I call it open barbecue.
Yes.
Reason is the connectivity with the soil, the networking with the soil, emotional relationship with the soil is a guarantee to your future loving nature of your family. your tribe and your things. And I think something it's questionable as you have indicated. With the passage of time, it is depleting.
Yes, that's true.
Why it is depleting? Because I just being teacher, being a PhD doctor also, and being a psychologist on teenage psychology, I do feel that as academia person, it's a missing link, something from the parent institution, and I am part of it.
Yes.
We must tell boys, girls, everyone what was past, why I am connected to this one. The younger generation, since they born on a different station, they raised up at a different place, and they have their friends there, but they should have a part of it there also. We should make it thrill, like barbecue, like going just a venture, and the best quality you can give to children is to how to communicate with the people.
Absolutely.
I mean, right words, right chance, right small, and communication with the tool of your body language. Seeing down, seeing on the just mobile and saying uncle main theek hu, it doesn't give any impact.
That's true.
You are supposed to, I just my son was Captain Hassan was the other day sharing with me, Papa, the best thing you taught us in life is that you just realized us, if any guest is inside the boundary from main gate, everybody is supposed to wish him, get up and supposed to wish him.
Right.
And obviously girls to the family friends, and boys to everyone, including my ex-sanitary worker. Reason, the life or the human beings are slave to the networking.
That's true.
If there is no networking between the humans, if there is no currency of comfort and love with the human beings, there is no feelings, there is no hope. And once there is no hope or pleasure, you can understand it's worse than the stones. This is my strong belief.
That's very true. Thank you so much for brilliantly putting it out there. And I would really like to build up a conversation where Brigadier Saab has mentioned that how human beings consist of the networking, and we are the beings, you know, because we are born in a society, and that is why we were born in a society to have relationships, right? So, Dr. Aiza, your work relates to communication and understanding the body languages, and we also see that there is just in general a rise in these conditions of autism and ADHD. So, do you feel that our lifestyles is the major factor that we are witnessing a spike in such sort of conditions? Because obviously, like Brigadier Saab mentioned, before mobile, our lives were more geared towards interacting with the environment. I mean, playing outside, going and observing the nature. But now it's just limited to the gadgets and watching them, and I mean hooking to the internet or the mobile. And you witness this trend, especially in the younger generation too, in the children as young as, I mean, 8 months old, or I mean 6 months old, because the moms, I don't know what is the reason behind it, but the parenting style has changed a lot. So what do you have to say about it?
Well, one of the first things that you will notice is children are not getting exposure.
That's true.
Now, by exposure, I mean, you know, our physical living environment. We are in smaller houses. There's absolutely no garden. Oh, you can't keep a pet, not even a bird. Children have no place to play. So, we are living in houses designed for, I don't know, like cages or something. So, what are the children supposed to do when they come home? It's just the computer. There's actually nothing to do.
Right.
So, if there was a garden, if there was a park, if there was a common area, so, you know, our living spaces are being destroyed in that way.
Yes.
If people are even the village now, you know, it's very nostalgic to talk about villages, but presently now what they are telling me in the villages, they are almost like little cities.
Right.
People are on their gadgets there as well, and there's all the junk food is available there. So, it's not that organic living anymore.
TikToks, yes.
TikToks and everything.
Yes.
So one has to be like, and then there's so much focus on studies that children are actually running away from studies.
That's true.
And you are just micromanaging and forcing your children into a lifestyle, and well, there's going to be a result for that. There's going to be an outcome for that.
That's true.
So, if you don't teach your children skills, meeting people, like what I did a couple of Eid ago was, I made my son get his friends over for barbecue. And well, luckily their father was not around because he always does the barbecue. And so, we had this bunch of, you know, like 19, 18, 20 years old,
okay,
15, 16 boys, and they couldn't get the fire started.
Right.
They couldn't start even barbecue.
They couldn't even start. And so, you know,
that
one
is
has
the
a,
amount of skill.
and then I found out who's smoking, who's not, because out came a lighter and out came this. And finally, their friend who's a doctor, he came and he lit the fire and he made. I said, look, he's going to be your saving grace. So, but now, you know, that was a skill. So get your children to have their friends over.
Right.
Get them to serve, like Brigadier Saab was saying, attend to the guests who are coming. You must involve them in cooking, preparing.
Give them more responsibilities.
Give them, shift the responsibility.
I just, as a stress management specialist, just share with you.
Sure.
The first step of anxiety or stress is once you are disconnect yourself from the human beings. You
That's
see, anybody who's in stress, he goes more for sleep. He likes to be isolated.
Right.
Then anxiety is the first stage of stress is being irritated from the human beings.
That's
or
true.
feeling away, feeling good in isolation.
That's
then
true.
depression, then anxiety, and then a serious stress series starts. So human beings are the medicine for the human beings.
That's true. That's
True.
And the medicine is to be utilized under all circumstances. इसमें थोड़ी सी click है. There's a thin difference. I do call it a positive medicine. अल्लाह के प्यारे नबी से किसी ने पूछा या रसूल अल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु आप फरमाइए कि who is best among the Muslims? आपने इरशाद फरमाया the one who is best in manners.
That's very true, and thank you so much for brilliantly putting it out there. And one of the important points that Brigadier Saab is trying to mention here is that Islam focuses a lot on the character building, and obviously your social life is an important part of that, right? So with that, we would like to thank both of our guests. Thank you, Brigadier Saab. Thank you, Dr. Aiza, for coming here and having this wonderful conversation regarding the Eid celebration. So we would like to go on a short break, and after that, we will come back and have a wonderful conversation lined up. So don't go anywhere.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Welcome back, and we are going to have this wonderful conversations regarding the Eid, and we had two wonderful guests before who were very fluently laid out what the Eid rituals is. So now we have been joined by one of the wonderful guests in the studio, because he is not just new to our studio, because he has been here around and he's the intern with us. So Fahim, would you like the honors to introduce him?
Of course, because we have been talking to people who are in different professions, but we haven't been speaking to any students. So, I mean, fortunately for us, Ibtisam here is a student and is an intern with us, and it's an absolute pleasure, Ibtisam, that you're here contributing your part in the program by being our guest. First of all, thank you very much for coming in. And second of all, being part of the youth community of Pakistan, being a student in one of the universities of Pakistan, we would like to ask you as to what are the trends these days of celebrating your Eid, and has anything, I mean, become different in celebrating Eid? Because naturally, it's all more towards the machinery now, towards the gadgetry now. So how do you spend your Eid day?
First of all, thank you for having me on your show. And after that, Eid Mubarak to all of you domestically over here in Pakistan, and the one who just listening across the globe. Everyone, just Eid Mubarak, and including you guys, Eid Mubarak to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So Ibtisam, you're also a student, right? And I also teach at the same university where Ibtisam is a student there, right? So Ibtisam, do you celebrate your Eid with your, I mean, fellow students or the friends that you have forged your friendships there? So what is the Eid ritual for you usually?
Basically, being a youth activist or being a student, you know, what I just recognize is just that, you know, the more we are just more into the, you know, materialistic things, the more we are just going back towards that, you know, the Eid that has been going traditionally, that's just perfectly fine, you know. For example, with our relatives, without these stuff like machinery, like so-called materialism things, so they're just perfectly fine. Just because, you know, we are the day that how we celebrate Eid is just not more with the friends, with the relatives, like we just usually wake up and then we have to go for the prayer, and then all the things traditionally goes. It has a very good taste, but let me honestly tell you that the more we are into the materialistic things, like, you know, making a selfies nowadays, and youth are more into, you know, taking the pictures, and they are supposed to, you know, upload it on the on the social media platform. This is how basically it attracts them. This is
I mean, what's wrong with taking the selfies? I also do that. Not selfie,
I
actually
also
pictures,
do that.
right?
They call it the mandatory Eid selfie.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And you see that, you know, your feed is flooded by a lot of Eid posts of your different friends and fellows and the followers that are following you. Yes, we know that tradition, but Ibtisam, are you a morning person, or are you, I mean, a night owl? So do you find it difficult waking up for the Eid prayers and going out for the Eid? Because my mom is usually shouting on my brother because he's not on the time, and she's like, "Aaj to Eid ka din hai, aaj to ut jaya karo." Is your mom the same?
No, I'm supposed to be like an entire day. You're supposed to wake up for the Fajr and the prayers. Alhamdulillah, I do have a particular habit that I'm supposed to wake up early in the morning and go for the particular routine. It's not difficult for my mom, especially for me. Instead, I'm the person in the home that supposed to wake everyone that, please, you have to wake up. The prayer is just
basically you're the odd one out, because what I've observed as a majority of the youth, what they do is they don't wake up. They're the total night owls.
Exactly.
They can't wake up in the mornings.
And which category do you count yourself?
Okay, A, I'm not a youth. And B,
age is just a number.
And my producer's really happy that I admitted to the fact that I'm not a youth. And secondly, well, I'm a night owl, and I can never wake up in the mornings. It has been a very difficult journey for me to do the morning shows just because of this particular reason, waking up early. So yeah, and as far as namaz is concerned, I make sure that I go there, but at times there have been 1 or 2 Eids when I have missed the prayers because I could not wake up, but I don't usually.
So Ibtisam, how do you contribute, I mean, towards your Eid rituals at your home? Do you help your mom in making that sheer korma or all of the meat at the staff? Or do you give the Eid in the first place to the younger ones, or you are the one who are getting the Eid in the first place? And how much Eid do you get, by the way?
Okay, coming towards the last question, how much Eid I'm supposed to get? Usually I get, I'm supposed to get like 1,000 from from my relatives, but some of my relatives, like Pupos, Pupos, like, were very famous for that, like 300, 400. And when it comes to the khalas, so they're supposed to give a lot of money. Like,
they're generous with that.
Yeah,
quite
Mama's
generous.
Boy talking, I think.
to be very honest. Okay, now coming towards the next part, that how do I feel about, how do I help my parents? Well, if I compare my childhood era, that was particularly very much like interesting. Nowadays, like as I was just talking, that into the materialistic things, we're not going with that particular enthusiastic stuff, like not into that particular enjoyment. Just because if I compare to that previous era, that was something very much energetic, and everyone was like.
What wasn't that in the era that was energetic?
That was something more into the family system. This gadget system wasn't there particularly. Everyone was supposed to be there. The collective wisdom was just there. The relatives supposed to come and you have to go there. But nowadays, what we do, like, we just come back from the prayer and we just go to sleep, and we usually wake up
which is
in
actually
the evening.
very sad.
Exactly. This is how when it comes to the weddings, even if you just compare to the weddings like in the past, they were very much energetic. The cousins are just coming to your homes, and you're just going to you're just visiting to their homes. But nowadays, what happens? Tomorrow's the wedding, and you're just going to the office. You're just busy with the stuff, and you're very much so. This is how the craze is not there.
Okay, Ibtisam, you missed out on a very important question. Do you help your parents or mother or sisters or whoever's in the kitchen in the responsibilities of the rituals of Eid?
To some extent, yes, I do. Just because the mothers, actually, we have a combined family, so like everyone try to help each other. The guests are supposed to come at our place at the evening, but not at the morning. So usually a little bit, not that much. To be very honest, not that much. Yeah.
Right. I think, I mean, women are more adept at that because they are making the food, and like we talked about it, that Ammi ke haath ka khana is something very, very special, and Eid is a very special occasion, so we would not like to trade anything with the Ammi ke haath ka khana, because it is super special, and the taste that we live and that we enjoy. Thank you so much.
And also, Hajra, besides that, before I thank you, I must talk to the viewers that whatever we've learned learned during the month of Ramzan, whatever discipline we've instilled in ourselves in the month of Ramzan, I hope that stays. I hope the month of Ramzan, I pray that it's a guiding star for all of us in each and every person's lives out there, because definitely this is what the purpose of Ramzan is. This is the purpose of fasting, and I hope you're as good as people as you are in the month of Ramzan in the future months to come. And if the sounds, thank you very much for coming in here. It's an absolute pleasure to have spoken to you, although for a short while, but due to the shortage of time, we have to wrap up the program. But anyway, Eid Mubarak to you, and Eid Mubarak to all of you who are watching out there.
Thank you.
Take care. Allah Hafiz.